What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most busted builds in Destiny 2 currently, that is revolving around the Arc Titan. And it is paired with the Heart of Inmost Light exotic. The way the Heart of Inmost Light works is its perk is called Overflowing Light. Using an ability, Grenade, Melee, or Barricade, empowers the other two abilities. So if you use a Grenade, your Melee and Barricade will become empowered. If you pop a Barricade, Grenade and Melee will become empowered. Empowered means that abilities have a faster regen, melee and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. This build is able to put out a ton of damage, it is able to do a ton of ad clear, and you are just spamming abilities left, right, and center. Before we get into the build though, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I appreciate each and every one of you stopping by the video. Without further ado though, let's get into the build. Starting off in the subclass here, for our super, we're going to be running Thunder Crash. Thunder Crash is probably one of the best Titan supers in the game so far, and you definitely want to be running this over Fists of Havoc. For our class ability, we're going to be running the Thruster, as you are able to just pop this a lot faster than a Barricade, and this allows you to get your Heart of Inmost Light perk procced a lot faster. For our movement ability, it is whatever you prefer. I prefer Catapult Lift. For our melee, we're going to be running Thunderclap, as you're going to be doing a ton of damage with this when it is empowered, and it is a lot faster to get off. You can just pop it from a standstill, and you can charge it if you want. You can just kind of do a quick Thunderclap. Either way, this is by far the best one to get Heart of Inmost Light's perk procced. For our nade here, we're going to be running the Storm Nade, which is absolutely busted with one of our aspects in this build. For our first arc aspect here, we're going to be running Knockout. The way this works is critically wounding a target or breaking their shield infuses your melee attacks with arc energy and increases your melee range and damage for a short period of time. And defeating targets with melee attacks starts health regen and makes you amplified. Anytime you punch a target basically and you kill them, you're going to be regenning your health. It is perfect. And then our second aspect here is the most broken one on Titan currently, which is Touch of Thunder. What it does is it increases your functionality of your grenades. For Storm Nades, it creates a roaming thundercloud that tracks targets and fires bolts of lightning at foes beneath it. It basically just makes your Storm Nade a roaming thunderstorm that is just dealing a ton of damage. For our aspects here, we're going to start off with the Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage, plus 10 to strength as well. With this build, you want to be in the mix all the time, so this is going to be helping significantly with your resistance. Pairing that with 10 Resil, you're going to be taking a lot less damage. The next arc fragment here is going to be Spark of Shock, which is your arc grenades jolt targets. Since you're going to be spamming grenades, you're going to be jolting all of these targets with those grenades. The minus 10 to discipline is not bad at all because you are going to be spamming your grenades thanks to Heart of Inmost Light. Our third fragment here is going to be Spark of Beacons. While you are amplified, your arc special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion. Because you're going to be amplified from punching enemies and dealing damage thanks to Knockout, you're going to be creating a ton of blinding explosions if you run something like Forbearance. And then our last fragment here is Spark of Magnitude, which allows your arc grenades that linger to last longer, so your Storm Nades are going to last longer, as well as having enhanced functionality. Pairing this fragment with our aspect of Touch of Thunder basically makes our Storm Nade a ridiculous OP Storm Nade. For the weapons you want to use with this build, in the kinetic slot, you could run something like Arbalest, Witherhoard, Izanagi's Burden, really anything you want. However, if you want to get a third weapon that could benefit from arc damage, something with Osmosis will be the move here. In the energy slot, you could run something like the brand new Ikelos SMG with Volt Shot, which is an incredible weapon for ad clear, or you could run something like Forbearance here with Chain Reaction to get that benefit from that fragment and create blinding explosions as well as the explosions from Chain Reaction. In our heavy here, you could run something like a Storm Chaser, or you could run something like Thunderlord if you want. You could run a Eager Edge Sword, you could run a Hothead, Wardcliff Coil. There are a lot of different weapons you can run with this. Basically anything arc though, because you want to be having as much arc weaponry as possible. And the reason you want to have a lot of arc weapons is due to the mods we have. Now let's go take a look at the mods in our armor. Starting with the helmet here, we got Harmonic Siphon as well as Elemental Ordnance. The Elemental Ordnance will allow us to create arc wells when we get kills with our grenade, which is incredibly overpowered and roaming around, so it's going to be generating a lot of these wells. On our gauntlets here, Elemental Armaments, just to give us the ability to make more elemental elemental wells with weapons that we use that match our subclass, which is another reason why you want to run a lot of arc weapons. And then on our chest here, we got Font of Might. The way Font of Might works is when you pick up an arc well, for example, your arc weapons will get an increase to damage. So anything that matches your subclass will get a damage boost. That is why we are going to be running as many arc weapons as possible. On our legs here, we're going to be running Better Already, Insulation, and Well of Tenacity. The reason we're running Better Already and Insulation is because anytime you pick up an Orb of Power, we will get health regen, and we will get ability cooldown each time we pick up an Orb of Power. Well of Tenacity may throw you off as it is a Void Elemental Well mod, but this is going to pair perfectly with Reaping Wellmaker. Anytime we use our class ability, which is going to be our thruster here, we're going to get a Void Elemental Well to spawn when we get a kill with a weapon, therefore proccing Well of Tenacity, giving us a ×3 resist. Overall, this build is an absolute ability spam beast. You're going to be doing a ton of damage with your weapons thanks to Font of Might. You're going to be getting all of your abilities back thanks to Heart of Inmost Light, as well as some of the mods on our armor. This build is a ton of fun to add clear to do damage with. It is one of my favorite builds this season. If you enjoyed the build, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below if you're currently using this build, or if you've never even heard of this build. Regardless, I appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.